Steve Zalunardo here, back with Zalunardo Associates with Mike Gatti. We're going to be talking all things based on inflation and current living conditions here based in Canada, specifically southern Ontario and Toronto, our district. So, Mike, what are you seeing, buddy?
Definitely looking at these increases in rates being an issue for household affordability on a
Yeah.
monthly basis. Just to throw in an example, kind of talking with a client, their variable rate was basically, let's call it $3,000 payment a month. Going from 3,000 now, since we've had these 7 rate increases, they've added an extra $2,000 a month. So we're almost at like just over $5,000 a month increase in payment.
But I reported last week regarding the debt per capita. I think we're at $1.86 right now. So every dollar you earn, you're spending $1.86. So imagine that. Like, that's huge. U.S. is 1-to-1 ratio. Every dollar you earn, you're spending a dollar. And we're a dollar earned, $1.86 spent. It's just like a huge. And let's face it, that's all based here in Southern Ontario or in Vancouver, more of the higher markets where they're carrying big mortgages.
Yeah.
That, and then there's the non-registered debt people are carrying. The average right now is $21,000 per person. You know, so that's based on average. So if
Yeah.
I don't have any credit card debt in this country, okay? So what are people really carrying if I'm actually bringing that average down with my zero?
Yeah.
So
So
what are
that's
people
like
really
50% of people are carrying double that. You're at over $40,000.
40K of non-registered debt. So it's almost like stealing from Peter to give to Paul currently. And this was my fear when I started reporting all this stuff going forward, is that people's holding power and in media, everyone's like, oh, people have, big, deep savings account through COVID. They saved money, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. People spent. Like, how many cranes did you see with pools being put into their backyard? I lived in Nobleton.
You couldn't get one.
It looked like
it was a 2-year wait to get a pool.
We lived. Our subdivision was built in 2017, maybe earlier, 2014.
Yeah,
Nobleton.
something like that. Yeah.
So my phase was 17, I think, 2014 rather. Okay, so my phase was 2014. So it's been established for like 7-8 years by that point. Every street looked like I lived in new construction between forklifts, cranes, dirt,
Landscapers.
landscaping,
Yeah.
like patio stone. It was a mess. So were they saying that people save money? I don't see it because we saw the restaurants people were going to, the new cars,
Well, how many
everything.
refinances happened at that time, right? To pull out a HELOC. Yeah, and the money was cheap at that point, right? Where now your HELOC that was like 2% then, now is like you're looking at like 6-7% now, right? So we're still paying for those pools.
100%.
Which, yeah, I agree. I don't know that we saved that much. Maybe we saved a little bit because we didn't go on vacation and stuff like that. There was less gatherings, less parties, like I guess with family. But in the terms of like, we still spent
How many Amazon trucks were driving by your house? Even if people didn't go to a restaurant.
every day.
Every day there was
All day.
5 or 6 deliveries on my
Yeah.
street every day. And we were
100%.
part of that.
Yeah.
On
I
my
agree.
family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't get out, but it was constantly Uber Eats, whatever it was wild. So
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see these savings.
I agree.
Yeah. So based on what people are going to see for 2023, I did a video this morning. It's going to be a rough ride, honestly. 23 is going to be a rough ride. Based on what me and Mike are talking about now on a cost of living and affordability, it's basically funneled down to now. How much more can people borrow if there's even an opportunity to borrow to pay bills? So now you're going to start seeing bankruptcies starting to happen. Houses needed to be sold prior to banks taking over. So this is why even the first quarter of next year, we'll see if the inventory starts piling up. Maybe families are not wanting to sell during Christmas and they need to sell, but they don't want to sell. They want to have that one last normal Christmas. Then going into the new year, you're going to start seeing these fire sales starting to happen. And that's a possibility, just based on the current debt level and everything that's happening.
I agree.
So,
even talking to like a friend of mine, he basically deals with a lot of power sales, and he went from 2021 having 1 power sale to he has 10, and those 10 started. The first one started in he said about June, and it takes him about 5 to 6 months to evict the people out of their home, unfortunately. But now, like on the back end of 2022, he's dealing with 5 alone in December.
Wow.
Right. So and even like it's not even all like young families. It's even like investors that are over leveraged. So he's got 5 of them that are kind of like guys that purchase 100% loan to value in a way, and they can't service the debt anymore because it's just unattainable. So that we're starting to see more in that. And then if this is just from the first one or two rate increases, it's going to compound, right? It's not going to be 10 and for rate hike number 3, it's going to be like 20 and
Or
then
100.
40 and
Yeah.
then 80, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously we're waiting for it to go through the
It's the
economy.
cascade to the bottom.
Yeah, it's a lagging indicator.
So I did a video this morning on Instagram, this Monday's video. Fair warning, if anybody for 2023, the small time landlord.
Oh, 100%.
1,000%. I
Yeah.
did that video this morning. People, so now you can go onto any news station and it's everyone's in a bearish market. This debt, rates, affordability, recession, everything. You can go on. You can find all the information that was lacking. You know, the media is always like, used to be 6 weeks late. Now I think it's eight or fucking 10 weeks late, to be honest. So landlords beware, because look at this. If you're a landlord, like a hobby landlord that has 1 or 2 doors, 3 doors, you got into the market because it was obviously, you know, you want to set up for retirement. It's a wise thing. I sold many of these properties to investors for retirement's sake. My clients are safe. We bought them at a low value. They're getting good rents of yesterday rents when they bought them. It's the ones that bought in the last couple of years, okay? And not number one, they bought it at the highest rate. And I remember talking with people. I'm like, how did you do that deal? Why did you do that deal? And they're like, well, it's a good deal. I said, but you're out of pocket. You're out of pocket every month. So you're putting in $500 a month so you're getting your rent, and after expenses, you got to actually input or inject $500 of your own money, or $1,000 of your own money, or $1,500 of your own money. Like it just, to me, this didn't sound like any book that I've read on investing. It's return on investment, not you paying into the investment. Doesn't make sense.
It's more speculative.
Speculative. They're looking at and a lot of guys capitalize, and girls,
100%.
like God bless, like
Yeah.
you know they carried them and then they dumped them and they made
At the right
a
time.
shitload of money. But now going forward, how about those people that held on to them? And I remember even calling clients, hey guys, I'm unloading everything. You know, this is a good time. I'm not talking to get a new listing here. I'm going to be honest. I'm
Trying to help
talking
you.
from action. Like I have my property, even my primary residence that we loved very dearly in Nobleton. Get rid of it. When are you going to see $2.3 million again for that house? Like it's going to be a long road till you see that kind of money.
I agree, that 5 to 7 year timeline you're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, if it does snap back at that point, I keep saying 5 to 7 years. I'm hoping, but it's like, does it do it? We don't know. So landlord beware is where let's look at the tenant right now. So we had people that bought houses overvalued the last 1 or 2 years. They take possession of these properties. They list them on the market to kind of offset their expenses. This is how our lease prices got so high, because if you spent $1 million for a townhouse, it needed $3,000 or $3,500 to make any sense per rent. So you put them on the market at that rate. And people actually took them because there was a lack of inventory and they were forced. Or like in their mind, it's like everything's expensive now. We got to do it.
have
So
no choice.
everyone was multiple offers on leases at overpriced leases.
100%.
So now and then there were some greedy landlords that were kicking out their tenants or trying to get them out or kick them out, do something to get today's rate, or renegotiating with their tenants behind closed doors, which is illegal. You can't do that in Canada. And they were getting them done. And I was surprised. I was like, I'm not going to do it. Like, it's obviously not in my wheelhouse. I don't want to have any, fraudulent activity in my book, but people were doing that and they were succeeding. I was like, should I do it now? We didn't. We sold everything and we kept just a few properties now. But so landlord tenant board in the province of Ontario, very geared towards the tenant. So that's it. So you as a landlord, you have all this risk money invested, and you have no protection with the government. So basically, when something comes down the pipe, you're going to be at fault. Cost of living. Now let's just keep going. So cost of living is astronomical. That's for anybody. If you own a house or you don't own a house, if you're paying a lease, we're paying a mortgage. The same idea. So the only difference is for a tenant is that if we know they need to have water and food to survive. They need transportation to get to work, to pay for the water and food, let's just say basic necessities. The thing that they don't have to pay is their rent. This is where the whole I'm getting to now. They don't have to pay their rent. And if the landlord-tenant board and the government's going to be pro, like, hey, you can't evict them because they didn't pay because we don't want them to be on the street family-wise.
What about you as the owner?
As the landlord,
Right?
how are you gonna hold up?
It's gonna be tough. And right now, even if, like, obviously people are gonna get into trouble, like, it's not like they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But you're at like 7 to 9 months in delays just to get a hearing.
It's crazy.
Right. So like, how many guys can have like a wad of cash to go hold that for 9 months without a dollar from their tenant, right? On top of your taxes, on top of your insurance, right? So Yeah, I agree. It's gonna get tough. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you guys like the information that we're sharing, and we hope we bring you guys value by giving you guys this information. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, Steven or myself, at the Remax West Experts, Zolonardo Associates. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.